Okay, so the first question we're dealing with today are about white sense stationary. We're given a certain stochastic processes and with the theta of the unit form from 0 to 2 pi, and we're given n1 and n2 and theta are independent, but we don't know what's the relationship of concrete form of n1 and n2. And first, we need to find the expectation of this process. And we could just simply do the integration according to the formula. Just because theta is a known random variable, so we're going to do the integration of theta. This obviously because theta is from 0 to 2 pi, so we're going to take the lower limit and the upper limit from our 0 and 2 pi accordingly. And obviously, this is cosine theta. This is a trigonometric function, so the integration should be 0 over a certain period. This has nothing to do with theta, so over a period. So we get our final answer is 0. By the way, this answer is not 0. We actually need to do the integration related to the random variables in n1 and n2, which are actually not known here. So but luckily we get 0 when we just do the integration of theta, so we're actually done. and the second question, we need to find out the autocorrelation with T1 and T2. So we're gonna do just substitute this with this concrete form of it, and after some simplification and some calculation, I'll make the concrete calculations about the polynomial operation of the polynomials. We could get that, and it actually grouped into two. One is the cosine WC T1 minus T2, and this one is N1 T1 T2 plus N2 T1 and N2 T2. And the second is related to the sine function, which here it's the plus 2 theta and N1 N2 plus N2 N1, and here we apply some trigonometric geometric formulas, like the cosine alpha plus beta equals cosine minus sine, and the sine alpha plus beta equals sine alpha cosine beta plus cosine alpha sine beta, something like that. And we actually know this because we actually ignore the concrete calculations here, but actually there's some techniques. And after do some simplification, we can see that there is 2 pi and our integration is over pi. So there is 2 theta and our integration is over theta. So over a period, the second term actually cancels, actually equals to 0. But the first groups of terms, there's actually no theta here, so we keep it. So we just keep it and simply multiply by 2 pi and divided by 2 pi. 2 pi is the uniform distribution. So we could do that. Okay. According to our conditions given in the question, the latter term it's the function of T1 and T2, because we're told that N1 and N2 are W. We're given that N1 and N2 are WSS. So this is simply a function of T1 minus T2. And we're going to first part is also a function of T1 minus T2. So the whole RZ function, it's the function of T1 T2. So we get the conclusion that this ZT is actually a white sense stationary. So, okay, now we move on to our third and last question. We like to know if T1 equals T2, which means that the variable is 0. We find out the autocorrelation. Well, we just simply substitute these words by T1 equals T. We just substitute when T1 equals T2. This one actually canceled because cosine 0 equals 1, and this one we just substitute T1 equals T2 with T1 or something like that, and we'll get that it equals to N1 squared plus N2 squared. So the overall answer is N1. this can actually be even more simplified if we know the concrete form of N2, but unfortunately we don't know, so we can go further.